My roommate Saul says the apartment has a new geometry. She says it the way people say things that are precise and insufficient at the same time. The geometry is new. Not the walls, not the furniture, not the layout we chose when we moved in 2 years ago. The geometry of how we move through it, the paths we take, the places we don't stand anymore, the corners we've started treating as occupied even when they look empty. They are not empty. His name is Void, but Soul named him on day 5, which was the right amount of time for a name that specific. Void doesn't respond to his name with enthusiasm or recognition or the small, precise confirmation sound of Pip. He responds to his name the way a doorway responds to being named. The doorway was always there. Void just gave us language for the passage. He is an Enderman. An actual, physical Enderman living in our apartment in Seattle, Washington, currently approximately 2 meters tall with proportionally long arms and legs, completely black with small floating purple particles that drift from his body like thoughts that have escaped, and eyes that are purple when calm and white when not calm. And we have learned the difference, and we prioritize the purple. He has been with us for 8 weeks. The apartment has a new geometry. We have stopped asking why. It was a Thursday in late October when Saul found the egg in the basement storage unit. Our building's basement, like Casey's building's basement, is the kind of space that accumulates things. Storage units, old furniture, the bicycles people stopped riding, the boxes of things that are too important to throw away and too unimportant to keep upstairs. Saul was down there looking for her winter boots, the annual October ritual that marks the end of Seattle's brief pretense of autumn. She texted me from the basement. Something in our unit, not the boots. Very strange. Come now. The come now, rather than come down, was the first indication. The egg was in the back corner of our storage unit, behind the bicycles we stopped riding, in the specific space between the bike and the wall where nothing is stored because nothing fits. It was there, the way things are there when they have always been there and are only now being seen. It was tall. This was the first thing. Not round, not oval, not the shapes eggs are. Tall. The proportions of something designed for height, an elongated ovoid standing upright on its narrower end, the height of a large watermelon standing on its end, maybe taller. Completely black. Not dark blue-black like the Chicago night sky, not deep earth black like the basement concrete, but the specific black of a place where light has decided not to go. A consensual dark. It was not warm and it was not cool. It was the temperature of the space between things. Sol crouched beside it for a long time without speaking. Then she said, "It's been here longer than our bikes." I said, "How do you know?" She pointed at the dust. The dust on the basement floor around the egg was different from the dust everywhere else. Not disturbed, not absent, older. The specific layered quality of dust that has been accumulating around a stationary object for long enough to have its own strata. I said, "How long?" Saul looked at the strata. She said, "Longer than the building." We left the boots. Saul opened her notebook.
That egg is older than the building.
Let's sit down.
We did not move the egg. We discussed moving it. We discussed it standing in the basement in the October Seattle evening, both of us looking at the egg in its corner, the egg being the temperature of the space between things, and being tall and being the specific black of a consensual dark. We discussed it, and then we stopped discussing it, and went upstairs and made dinner, and didn't say anything about the egg for an hour, and then Saul said, "We're not moving it, are we?" And I said no, and we finished dinner. The egg stayed in the basement. Saul put a padlock on our storage unit that night, not to keep the egg in, to keep other people out of a space that had become, in the 4 hours since we found it, something that required consideration before entering. For 7 days, the egg stood in the corner of the storage unit and was tall and black and the temperature of the space between things. On day 3, Saul noticed the shadows in the storage unit were different.
They look the same
Not
to
darker, not more numerous.
Where the bike shadows
Different in
should
the
be.
specific way of shadows that have been rearranged by something that understands shadows better than light does. The shadow of the bike was not where it should have been given the position of the storage unit light. The shadow of the boxes was longer than the boxes warranted. The shadows had been considered.
This shadow is 30% longer than it
Saul
should
wrote
be.
in her notebook,
Let me check this one.
"The
It's
shadows
same.
have been reconsidered."
Something's
On day
making them
5,
longer.
I went down to check the temperature and the egg was gone. It was in our apartment.
Unlocking it now.
In the corner of the living room where the two
corner is
walls meet the
empty. The egg
ceiling,
isn't here.
the highest, darkest
Not
corner
in any
available.
corner.
The
Going
egg
back up.
standing upright in the corner with the specific, settled quality of something that has assessed the available options and made a considered choice. We had not moved it. We had not been home. Sol opened her notebook to a new page. She said it chose up. It hatched on day 7 at 3 a.m. Not sunrise like cinder, not dusk like dusk, not midnight like zephyr. 3 a.m. The specific hour that is neither the end of night nor the beginning of morning. The hour that belongs only to itself. The darkest available hour in a Seattle October. We were both asleep. We were both awake at 3:01 a.m. Not from a sound. Not from a vibration. From the specific quality of the air changing in a way that meant something had changed about the apartment and our bodies knew before we did. Sol was in my doorway at 3:02 a.m. I was already sitting up. The living room was dark. The corner where the egg had been was darker. Then it was not darker. Then it was the purple. Not a gradual lightening, not a slow reveal. The purple appearing in the dark corner, the way a fact appears in a conversation, suddenly and completely and having been true before it was said. 2 points of purple light in the dark corner, approximately 2 meters up. The egg gone. The purple eyes open. Sol said quietly, "Void." The purple eyes moved, not toward her, not away. A lateral movement, a repositioning, the movement of something that has just arrived in a space and is establishing its relationship with the geometry of it. The long arms visible in the Seattle streetlight coming through the window. The height of him, visible in how much of the corner he occupied. The floating purple particles beginning, small points of light drifting from his body into the dark living room. I reached for the light switch. Sol said, "Don't." I didn't. We sat in the dark living room with Void in the corner and the purple particles drifting and the Seattle 3 a.m. outside the windows, and nobody said anything for a long time, and it was fine. It was specifically fine.
Yes.
Specifically fine.
Specifically.
This morning, the apartment had a new arrangement. 3 things moved overnight. Each one is now in a location that Sol cannot immediately explain and is writing about. The geometry
Can you
continues
explain
to be
this
revised.
location?
We have stopped asking why.
This one?
We have started asking
And
what.
this one? I have a
Void is in the corner
hypothesis.
above the bookshelf. The purple eyes are open.
Void
Sol
in the
is
corner
writing.
above the bookshelf.
3 things moved last night.
The
If you
purple
found
eyes are
something,
open.
leave a comment. We read all of them. Void has probably already assessed your geometry.
Sol is writing.
You just haven't noticed what
3
moved.
things
Subscribe.
moved last night.
Don't look
Yes.
directly at the purple
Same
eyes.
as last
We
week.
learned this in week 2.
Different 3
It's
things.
fine. It's
Always
fine now.
different.
Subscribe.
Don't look directly at the purple eyes.
We learned this in week 2. It's fine.
It's fine now.